Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Subrata Sarkar. I'm a mechanical engineer working in manufacturing industry since the last 22 years. Today I'll discuss what is communication. We every day, every moment in life, everywhere we are doing communications. But how effectively we do the communication, that's very important. And what are the things actually is elements of communication, how communication can be effective, how communications are breaks actually, how communication doesn't transmit properly. So that is different area we'll discuss today. Now, technically, what is communications? Communications is a exchange of information through speaking, through signaling, and through writing. So there are three ways to communicate basically. One is speaking, one is different signaling like this, and writing. So three ways people can communicate. Now in communications there are five elements. One is sender. Sender means the person to whom you want, the person who is and to whom you want to send the message, the originate the message, the sender. I'm communicating to someone something, so I'm the sender. And the message means the information which we want to exchange. And transmission means how the message is delivered, whether by writing, whether by signaling, whether by speaking. And receiver means the person on the other side, the person to whom we are sending the message. And feedback means the response from the receiver. Many times in the communication, we do not have the scope of the feedback, but later we can get the feedback. Sometimes and sometimes not. Now, so basically sender, receiver, message, and feedback. And if we see the cycle in a little more detail, so there will be sender encoding some message, the message go, message transmit, receiver decode the message, receiver get the message. In the same way, the feedback process will also circulate actually. Now, is communication is a very simple job. We think we tell something and some people has understood. So it's a very simple job. It's not so. It's very, very difficult job actually. For example, if you speak something, is there any guarantee that everybody, all the audience will listening? It's not always. It's not possible, rather you can say. Suppose you were speaking something in front of 100 audience, maybe in workplaces, maybe some other social gathering or anything. There's a hardly 40%, 30%, 20%, 60% people will listen about you. Other people will not. Even a CEO of a company when speaking, it's not guaranteed that 80% people will listen him. Because this is the normal nature of the human. And second is signaling. Sometimes you signal wrongly actually, and the communication goes actually wrong in different directions. And we think that this is the right way of signaling, but that may mean something different to the receiver actually. And it may be very dangerous in a global environment. For example, in some of the European countries, like in India, if we want to call some junior people, we can call like, you can come here, like that. But in some European countries, only pigs can be called like this. So you can, if you, use this signaling on that country, so there will be dangerous actually. The situation will be very bad. And writing. Some people think that I can write very good English, a lot of good words, a lot of grammatical, and people will read it. And they'll write a lot of long emails. You can take it that maybe 20% and 10% people read it, rest of the people don't read it even. So we are not good in writing also, like we are not good in speaking, because if you are good in speaking, then 100% of people would have listened to you. So we are not good at speaking, we are not good at signaling, and we are also bad in writing. Otherwise 100% people will read what I have written in so many big paragraphs, even a small paragraphs. And whatever we are seeing every day, these are correct or not. I'll show something. You see this picture. If I ask how many squares are there, you can easily answer. If I ask how many circles are there, many people can't answer it. You watch, you'll find there are 16 circles in this picture. What is this? You may think this is a seal. Look properly, watch properly, you'll find there is a car. And in this picture, in a very in the first impression, you can find a bicycle. But if you look properly, you'll find there is a bike, motorbike. Even in this picture, there are a lot of horizontal lines. Now, if I ask what is the angle, because lines looks not parallel to each other, so what should the angle between these two lines? Is zero. All the lines, all the longitudinal lines are perfectly parallel. It is because of the cross herringbone lines, we are getting confused actually. So we are not good at observing also. Now in this picture, if I ask someone how many circle you can see in the cross points, how many cross points you can see the circle actually. If you watch properly, in every cross point you will find circle, but when you move your eyes from one position to another, you will find that there is no circle. So so observing something is also not an easy job. Now in communications there are a lot of myths actually, misunderstanding of the people actually. For example, like some people think that you are telling, I am telling, so other people are telling, so there is a lot of confusion. So to have a better confusion, let's talk one person only. You tell us, a message will come from a single point. It's wrong also. It will not also communicate, solve the purposes. Some people think that if I tell someone something, you will also get the same message. Not necessary. If you are telling in English also, that person understood English, but still the message will not go. Now, I'll show something actually how human mind actually works. It is technically called something, but I'll just first make you understand like how human mind works actually. It's not by letter, it is actually by a package, that is word. Now I'll write something in a wrong spelling. All the words I'll spell. Spelling is, there is a lot of mistake in spelling of every word. But still, if you place this document to any person who can speak English, read English, he can smoothly speak out. You can see what is written here. All the spellings are mistake actually. There is a mistake in each spelling, one or two mistakes. Like according to the research at the Cambridge University, it doesn't matter what order the letters or words. Actually, every words, when we read out some words, our eyes and brain coordinate for the first letter and the second last letter. In between, if you juggle the alphabets, then it doesn't matter actually. You can make some meaning of the words. So this is how human mind works. So if there is something, it's not that everything will be observed. It is brain doesn't take it actually. This is the way human brain works. Now there are three styles of communication. One is called aggressive communication, one is called assertive communication, one is called non-assertive communication. In workplaces, assertive communication is very important. Rather, you can say in most of the cases, assertive communication is needed actually. What is assertive communication? The concept. What is the concept? The psychology actually. Assertive communication means, in a different way, like from transaction analysis point of view, I can say, I am important, you are important. Your work is important, my work is important. Like for example, in an office, you are going into some other department and asking some information from him, and you ask in this way that I know you are busy, but still you find some time and give this information to me. It may happen that the person can say, I am very busy at this moment, I cannot give this information next 2 days. So assertive means I am important, you are also important, your work is important, my work is also important. So this is basically assertive communication. In aggressive communication means I am important, you are not important. This is like in transaction analysis say I am okay, you are not okay. So actually this is a parental ego state. It means sometimes what happen, some people come in offices, I'm telling you. You do this work for me, whatever work you forget, I want my job to be done fast. This job to be done fast. So this is basically is an aggressive communication. It's a wrong way of communication, whosoever it is. And there is another called non-assertive. This is also ineffective for any organization, non-assertive. This means these people are incapable to say in front of some people or demand for their works, and they leave that and they make that person in this position, and they create their position here. So they say, for example, you are the boss or you are a senior person, you know everything, so whatever you feel you can do it. No, it's not like that. But in the same cases, the assertive communication will be, this is needed for my job, and this information will come from you, so you find times and give this information to me. So assertive communication is actually the character of the person actually, like, you know. Now in communication, so there are three styles of communication. One is assertive, one is aggressive, and one is non-aggressive. So from different words also you will find which type of communication is going on, and from different body language, different words people are using, the voice tone actually, there are a lot of way actually to identify how the person is doing this communication, whether assertive, aggressive or non-aggressive, and whether this is the right, you know, way of communication for the particular situation or moment. And in communication there is a very simple way to divide two parts. One is the verbal, one is the non-verbal communication. Many people have a small misunderstanding about the verbal communication. Some people understood that verbal means speaking something. No. Verbal means communicating with language. Language means like English, French, Bengali, Hindi, like this is the language I'm talking about, not the body language. So when you are telling something or you are writing something, so both are together called the verbal communication. And when you are using some body languages, it's called non-verbal communication. Like, you know, you can see here in this picture, some people are speaking over phone, talking over phone. So this is a verbal communication. And someone is writing some letter or email, this is a verbal communications. Some teacher teaching to the students are saying this is a verbal communication. So using some languages, whether speaking, whether writing. Now when in a signal, traffic signal, they are putting three color, red color, this green color, yellow color. So this is a non-verbal communication. So it doesn't relate to the Hindi speaking Japanese people or the French people. They come and sit and stand in Indian road, they can understand what the traffic is want to communicate. They you go, you shouldn't go, you wait and move. So this is non-verbal communication. And statistics say, on an average, the maximum efficiency of verbal communication can be 33%, and non-verbal communication efficiency can be maximum 67%. So it is so it is more effective if you can communicate the same things by non-verbal communications. Non-verbal communication has got few components. One is the gesture. One is the posture. Gesture means something dynamic. Suppose I'm speaking here and moving like a lot of, so this is actually gesture. Posture means some people standing some position, some sitting position, that is a static position called posture, and dynamic portion is called the gesture. So for every instance of the gesture is a posture. There is a facial expressions, there is a eye contact is very important in communications, there is a tone of voice, and there is a pause. Sometimes you need to stop at some place, and silence is also a communication. It's not that some people is silent, it doesn't mean that he or she isn't communicating. It is a type of the communications. Communication has got the different, this is a network communications. So you need to know which type of network actually you are doing these communications. There are a lot of other things actually in communication. So I'll come up in my next this video. This is the detail of this part of the communications. But in communication, in summary, what I want to share is, like, communicators are not born, they are trained actually. So if someone wants to be a good communicator, he or she can try and can be the best communicator. And communication is the best, is the most important, requirement of this world to be successful. Thank you very much for your attention and time.